Mike, check. 1, 2 on a Sunday night. What's going on, guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Had to reboot. Technical issues. Always something with this damn computer. Let's see who's in the chat while we give everybody a chance to pour a drink. It's Sunday night, guys. Hopefully you're safely at home. We got a little bit of coquito tonight, the Christmas drink of the Caribbean. If you haven't checked the community tab, by God, what are you waiting for? Ooh. Gonna be answering your guys' Q&A tonight. Whatever y'all want to talk about. Maybe some stocks, maybe some politics, maybe some Yellowstone. What's the new one that was premiering tonight? 1923. I had to cut that short to come do this. You don't know how hard that is, but hopefully we got it on recording. And then get to bed at a reasonable hour tonight so we can see what the hell's going to happen in the market tomorrow. Doc Zeno, what's going on? Angelina, what's up? Tyler, Diana, Mike, Punchy Nuts, the Honorable Punchy Nuts, AMC Machine, Slick Rick, Nate, what's going on? Lordy, John Cottrell, good evening. I don't know if I said good morning, but I meant good evening. Brian, what is up? Brian, now a member for 4 months. Did I vote on Elon's poll about stepping down? I saw it, Brian, in the last hour, but I didn't vote yet. And I say no, don't vote. I mean, don't step down, Elon. This is just a trolling from the left because they don't want you running Twitter, and they're going to try and crater Tesla right along with it. This is all planned because they can't stand freedom of speech. Nate says, Tony, the picture is awesome. I'm assuming you meant the thumbnail. Yes, I did show Scarlett the thumbnail before we went on tonight, a couple of hours ago. Rest assured, she was not very happy. For those of you that said, your wife's not going to like that. You were right. But I do what I want. I do what I fucking want. John's touchpad. Hello. Corey, what is in the drink? Coquito. This is the Caribbean version of eggnog. You guys might know I used to spend a lot of Christmases in Puerto Rico. Nothing quite like being on the beach for a month in December into January, soaking up that 80-degree sunlight. No snow to be found. Christmas carolers everywhere. They love their Christmas season in the Caribbean. And lots of backyard barbecues, lots of dancing, and always some coquito. And, if you're at the right house, a little bit of hooch under the kitchen sink. Don't forget to ask. Tell her it's marketing. Angelina, we had the full gamut of the talk about marketing and yada, yada, yada. Scarlett, don't play that, but this is my house. And no, I will not be sleeping on the couch, Brian. This is my house. There ain't no sleeping on the couch in this house. Corey Ryder says, how do you make coquitos? So it's a liter of rum, a can of evaporated milk, a can of condensed milk, and a can of, what is it? Cream of coconut, I think is what it is. I sent Scarlett to the store earlier and she came back with coconut milk. I was like, nope. I gave you a picture of what it looked like so that you wouldn't get coconut milk. And she's yeah, it's anyways, where's cream of coconut? Yes, it's very, very thick. So she had to go back to the store, bless her heart. I don't know what happened to Massalorian tonight. I saw that he was streaming also. I tried calling him a couple hours ago, and maybe I guess we just crossed wires somehow. I saw that he's streaming tonight too. The plan was a couple nights ago that we are going to do it together. Maybe I cussed a little bit too much on Friday, made him uncomfortable. I'm just teasing. Just teasing, guys. All right, let's talk about, well, how was your weekend? Did you go see Avatar 2? I saw on the numbers that it was approaching 400 million worldwide. That's good news. And I've been looking at the audience scores. It's like 93% on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience. Critics, panning it a little bit, I think 84%. I looked at some of these critics that were giving it a bad score. Like one dickhead gave Top Gun Maverick a 5 out of 10. I was like, well, this guy's an asshole. Obviously a paid shill. Like Black Panther 3, Maverick 5, Avatar 2, 5. Well, what do you like? You probably like The Whale, don't you? You like those artsy films. Who else went to see Avatar? I was going to go see it twice this weekend, guys, but the numbers were looking pretty good. So what I decided, because I don't want to see a big rundown in the week to week numbers, I'm going to put my second viewing of Avatar in the next week so that it counts into week number 2's numbers. See how that works? We don't want to have a 43% decline in Avatar from week 1 to week 2. Jack Wolf, what's up? Tim Howard says, watched Avatar this weekend, loved it. Have more tickets for the IMAX for the day after Thanksgiving. Did you guys see any of the articles? There were articles out at 10 a.m. this morning. Avatar 2 first weekend numbers are dismal. I'm like, I don't know where you're at, motherfucker, but we're still in the weekend. In my time zone, it's still Sunday, and you got 15 more hours of weekend number 1 numbers. So why are y'all rushing out these bad numbers? This weekend has been fantastic for Avatar 2, but they couldn't even wait. They had to rush out the bad headlines first thing this morning. You know that they are worried when they're doing that shit. Who watched Yellowstone tonight? Any other Yellowstone fans besides me? Asperino gave Smurfs a perfect 10. Jordan says, Tony, the only thing you could say of any importance is whether or not they fix a pizza oven. Okay. What day should I go see Avatar? I don't think I have any. Well, we're going to play it by ear depending on what the market does. The first day, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the first day that the market is not speaking to me, I'm going to bail and go see Avatar again. All right. So what do y'all think about Elon? Should he resign as CEO from Twitter and concentrate on Tesla? I'm kind of thinking, you guys know I've been saying this for a few weeks, that a good CEO has good management underneath him. And the CEO is kind of like the final, he's the final check on strategic initiatives of a company. He's not there to make day-to-day decisions, and he shouldn't need to be there for Tesla every single day if he's got good management in place. There's no reason for him, in my mind, to leave Twitter until he has it making money. We were talking about Twitter. I was talking with my son about Twitter auctioning off furniture and cost cutting and doing what they need to do. But I think he's doing a fine job so far. Look, that company hasn't made money in I don't know how long. I don't even know what they were doing before Elon came along. But if anyone can turn that company around, it's him. I did see, DevStat, a photo. I didn't know if it was photoshopped, but yeah, I saw a photo of Ken Griffin up there in the box seats or the top row of the World Cup with Elon. What's up, Blazin? Was Blazin in the house? I saw Blazin and I were talking about puts on Nike or buying Nike stock. Any of y'all following Nike? Any of you invested in Nike? I posted an article a couple days, 10 days ago about Nike's in the Discord only, about Nike's inventory ballooning to ridiculous levels. And Blazin just saw their inventory and he's like, what do you think? Yeah, this is bad. I don't know if Nike over ordered inventory or their sales are down. I haven't dug through their financials yet, but I'd like to buy me some Nike at a certain point once it gets kind of the boot for the long-term hold. All right. And I see a lot of people asking, some ask about MMAT, some asking about Cosmos. Tim says the photo wasn't Photoshop. I'm a very bad Photoshopper, but I wanted it to be obvious, Tim, that it was Photoshopped. We were talking with one of our friends about that thumbnail. Scarlett was not very happy, and her friend said, "But it's just Photoshopped. He didn't really take a photo with those two girls." And she was like, "Well, I don't care." Come on, man. I could see you being a little mad if I had two girls in lingerie on a couch taking a photo, but with my poor Photoshop skills, everybody knows that's just to be funny. A couple people it's going to make really mad, and I can't wait to see who tweets out something that thinks it's serious, because you guys know it's a joke. But the little dickless, ballless wonders on Twitter are going to have fun with it, and so we put it out there just for them. Cheers, bitches. All right, so Cosmos. I got a phone call from Frank earlier. He tweeted out a couple days ago, and I accidentally included his original tweet, which had the CEO's email, in my community tab, and he was wanting me to take down that community post and crop it to take out the CEO's email. So I did that today. But he said he really can't say a whole lot about what's going to happen with Cosmos. Apparently, there was some issues, as you guys know, as we talked about on Friday, with getting shares to the brokers, and some brokers weren't wanting to trade, and half of you couldn't even trade Cosmos on Friday. And so I'm going to double down on what I said Friday and what I said in the Discord to everybody all weekend, that this was not a squeeze on Cosmos. I know that's going to make Lou really mad. But this was not a squeeze. This was constrained supply. It was a Robinhood allowing trades at 23 cents in pre-market, which was ridiculous. After the split, who would sell Cosmos at 23, 30, 40 cents? That was a mistake. But once the mistake was in the system, people that were quick, people that had caffeine, not me, took advantage of it. Man, I wish I was thinking clearly. I was watching it and I was just like in disbelief, and I just let it slip right through my fingers. That was a FOMO run up on constrained supply. Most of you should be able to trade it on Monday. I would expect that by Monday morning it'll be cleared up for for most of you. And I really don't know what's going to happen with Cosmos in the next week. It's really too hard to call. But let's just say that all of you are able to trade it. Everybody that couldn't sell on Friday, you're going to be able to sell on Monday. So what does that mean if half the volume couldn't sell on Friday and they can on Monday? There's going to be I saw all the pump going on Twitter this weekend. Oh, it was a name change in a QSIP. Guys, I don't believe that for 1 second. Sorry. Constrained supply and a screwed up situation. But, I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. Whatever happens, if it's moving on Monday, if it's moving up, I'll be in it. Like I told them over the weekend in the Discord, I will not, at this point, because of the uncertainty, hold that stock overnight. But if it's moving, I will trade it. Scavenger, if you want to join in, I sent you a link, amigo. Hope you're doing all right. G Immortal says, where is Massalorian? I don't know. I tried calling him 2 or 3 hours ago. No contesta. William said he was paralyzed watching COSM. William, I can tell you, I was watching Cosmos at 23 cents. I had my order window open at $3, 7:30, 7:45 in the morning. I had my order window open again at $10, $12. I was on the phone with Massalorian. 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities I had to buy that motherfucking stock. Thinking reverse splits. Look, I go on statistics, and typically when a reverse split happens, things get knocked down. And that's what being conservative gets you sometimes. I miss some. I miss that one all day long. Even I was saying to myself at 23 cents at 6:30 in the morning, that's like a penny, Tony, pre-split. Just fucking buy it. That's called a life lesson. If that ever happens again, you can bet your bottom dollar that I will be doing it without even thinking. I just couldn't wrap my head around what was going on. That was a very, very unusual situation, and I wasn't thinking clearly. I was on about 3 hours sleep that night, and I woke up just to watch what was happening with Cosmos. And when I saw 23 cents, I was like, holy shit, this is worse than I thought. What the fuck? They rug pulled the hell out of this thing. Only about an hour into it did I realize that the whole mistake was because Robinhood was allowing people to trade it and they hadn't properly coded it in their system. If I would have caught onto that in the very first moment that it was happening, damn straight I would have been buying it. Can you imagine making 9,900% in one day buying it 23 cents and writing it up to 23 bucks? Corey says, what is a good rum for that drink? I buy the Bacardi Gold, but I can tell you in Puerto Rico, Corey, they do not like Bacardi, even though the factory is right there in San Juan, and I've toured that factory. When you go to Puerto Rico, they say, "Oh no, we don't drink Bacardi here. That's for the gringos." But it's cheap and it's easy to find, and it really doesn't matter once you mix it with three different other ingredients. NASCAR says Staples screwed up the reverse split a few years back. In that case, the reverse split actually hadn't gone through yet, but it opened as if it had. Yeah, these are very, very rare events where it gets screwed up. And this was everything that happened with Cosmos on Friday was because they tried to implement it overnight. Like usually, you guys know, when you get a split or reverse split, you have a few days notice. This got rushed because of NASDAQ kind of pressuring the company to look, you need to do this today. I do believe that was true. NASDAQ pressured the company like, you need to do it. And the board voted on it immediately. I am really disappointed that they didn't send out a press release. They should have. Press release 8K. We shouldn't have found out the janky way that we found out. But anyone thinking that it's going to $100, which would be 2,500 post split, I say good luck. Good luck. I saw notes from a few people that said they got margin call notices on Webull because of the split. If you got a question, call Webull. There's a lot of nonsense going on. I don't think any of you are getting margin called over Cosmos, but these are like some automated computer generated messages that happen. Call your broker if you're worried about what's going on. Most of you should have everything cleared up on Monday. El Dorado, Pablo Loco says from Guyana. El Dorado, I'm trying to think of what are some other Puerto Rican rums. Palo Viejo, I think, is one. I think I've toured about every Puerto Rican rum distillery, but I'm having a brain fart trying to think of what is the one that everybody drinks. Palo Viejo is not it. El Dorado doesn't ring a bell. I've heard of it, but there's one famous Puerto Rican rum, and you can buy it in the States. Just nobody knows it because of marketing. Am I a NASCAR fan, Brian? I like to watch NASCAR, just like I like to watch Formula One. I like to watch football. But to call me a fan of any sport, like following it, no. I'm a fan of making money. I'm a fan of following the stock market. Oh, wait, hang on. We got Frank. I see Frank in the waiting room here. Frank, I'm going to bring you on. What's up, amigo?
Oh, just living a dream over here, buddy.
All right, Frank. Maybe you heard what I was saying about Cosmos. Give us your spin, because I'm just speaking for myself, but I want you to give the folks a chance to tell us your own words.
It's not a whole lot to say. I mean, Greg, we went into the NASDAQ expecting a different outcome, and they put some pressure on him. He had to make a spot decision, and he consulted with the bankers and everybody else, and they decided to do what they did. Caught me a little bit by surprise, but
the CEO, as I understand it, his original desire was to kind of wait till January 23rd and hope that organically the company got over $1. But you're saying that NASDAQ applied some pressure to rush the decision, right?
The original goal was to get an additional 6 months to go to May, sometime in May. But obviously, with this 10 days under 10 cents rule, they just weren't having it. And if we would have shot for the January 23rd date, that means we would have been over $1 by January. Let's see, 10 trading days.
Trading days.
So it's really, we had like 7 or 8 trading days to get there. It wasn't a risk he's willing to take, because obviously the goal, as much as we all want it to happen now and yesterday, the goal of the company obviously is long-term health and growth. And losing your listing is not conducive to that. So, sorry, my voice is kind of going a bit, so I sound a little scratchier than normal.
Frank,
But,
tell us about how your last 3 days have been, Frank.
Well, I now know there's a reason why most guys in my business don't answer the phone. I have an affinity for retail, and I know how afraid some of them get and anxious and aggressive, and I take it all. But it's just trying to take the questions I can answer. I'm pretty limited. I haven't had a ton of contact with them, and I believe they're doing that for a reason. We'll have to find out what that reason is. I don't know what it is, but they've been pretty hush hush as of late. I just listen. If I know Greg the way I think I do, he's got something up his sleeve. I don't know what it is. I'm anxious to find out. I've heard emotions across the board out there on what's going to happen tomorrow. I think the one thing we can count on is some volatility.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. I mean, Friday's trading that was just bizarre. I've been out here a long time.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Nor have I.
Utterly unbelievable.
Yeah,
Frank,
people getting stuck in some other company, HZ or NZ or something like that. I don't even know what that is.
Frank, I've only known you a few days, and I'm from knowing me the few days that you've known me that I have not been one pumping Cosmos. I first came on the scene on this stock to highlight the people that were putting out false information about 2,000% short interest. But I want to give you with that as a prelogue, I want to give you an opportunity to say whatever you want to say about the people that are calling you a pump and dumper or a paid shill, because they call me the same thing just for trying to share information. And I have you on this channel because you know more information than I do. But do you have any thoughts or comments about how that makes you feel, or anything you want to say to those folks?
Well, to a company to be a pumper dumper, there has to be a dump that accompanies the pump. I don't have anything to dump. I don't have any shares. I don't trade in it. So, do I support the company? Yeah, of course I do. I think a lot of things have lined up against this company. Short sellers, listing requirements, the initial fundraising that was a bit predatory, and I tried to help them through it because they're decent guys. They have a nice little business. And if they could get some smooth sailing, I think this company will grow rapidly. But I mean, to pumper dumper, I mean, do I believe in the company? Do I support them? Yeah. If that's pumping, well, call it what you will.
I know it's a tough question, and I hate to put you on the spot, but I get called that every day just because I either get called a pump and dumper, or on the same stock I get called a bear.
Yeah.
When you're trying to share just information, public information, depending on people's biases, they're going to pick what they call you.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple for me. I get the same amount of money on the first of every month, whether the stock is up, down, sideways. My pay grade doesn't change with the price of the stock. So, what is there to pump? But if supporting a stock is pumping it, I wouldn't take a deal if I didn't believe in it. They're kind of foolish to take a stock you think's a piece of crap. So
yeah,
they want what they want.
Against all odds, I believe in a movie theater company stock, which has its own set of problems too. And I get called a pump and dumper for that stock too, even though I'm majorly in the red on the holdings that I have on that stock. So I get where you're coming from. You can't please everybody all the time.
Well, what they need to remember, and this is universal through the investor relations or consulting world, the man behind the curtain is a lot more powerful than the man on the stage. You know, I'm out front. I'm basically a bullet sponge. But on the other hand, a lot of people are very supportive. But I don't take it personally. I know when it comes to money, people get emotional.
Yep.
And you know, if coming at me hard makes them feel better, well, how about it?
There's a lot of people that are frustrated, Frank, and I'm sure you can understand this. And it's
I'm one
not
of them.
it's not your fault. It's the broker's fault or the transfer agent. I don't know. I really wanted to hear your thoughts about what happened, the breakdown between the transfer agent and the brokers. I won't proclaim to know how all of that works. Maybe one day I'll get a transfer agent on to talk about all of that, but why were some brokers not allowing trades on Friday? Do you know?
Yeah. Okay. So this is something that I see as a problem going forward that we need to learn from. Each broker dealer has their own policy on fronting stock, loaning stock. That policy should be universal. That should be a set SEC or FINRA rule that every broker has to adhere to assure a level playing field or equal opportunity for everybody at the same time.
Yep.
Nobody should get the stock beforehand or later because, listen, it could have worked out either way. The guys that got the stock first thing in the morning might have panic sold when the mistake happened at pennies, whereas somebody who had to wait until the end of the day got $23. So, you know, that type of thing, they have to fix that. If it were me and I got to make the rule, that stock would have been completely halted until everybody had their shares, everything was distributed, and you could start it off where everybody is in place and ready to make their own decisions universally.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't make the rules, and logic doesn't always apply out here for some reason. But that I see as the core of the issue, leaving it up to certain people. From what I heard, Mumu and Weeble were the first ones out of the gate that could trade. TD, I think, is still holding up because they have a policy of no fronting. It's just, I've never, 25 years I'm out here, 27 actually, I have never seen anything like this. And I've never seen synthetics trade the way they did. So because once this thing cleared $5, it launched.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that smart people, smarter than me, with more caffeine than me, once they realized that half the supply was constrained and that momentum was going, they just piled and drove the hell out of it. And God bless them. And congratulations to everybody that made money on Friday. I love to see anyone making money on that play, and fucking anybody who tried to short it that day also. But
well, 30% was short, according to the FINRA dark pools. You know, there was a tremendous amount of dark pool activity on Friday.
There was a similar situation, Frank, that happened when the AMC APE share first got released. And I know a lot of people don't like my explanation, but I want to just kind of contrast it or compare to what happened with your stock, Cosmos. There were $43 million shares of failures to deliver in APE after the T+2. And I think this is not going to be a popular comment, Frank, but there were brokers that were allowing trading of APE on the day that it launched that didn't have the shares, just like what happened with your stock, Cosmos. For whatever reason, on this ticker, they decided not to allow trading. But on APE, they allowed trading the first day, and they let all the failures to deliver build up. And then it took them a few days to sort that all out. But people still, they're stuck on this. Oh, there were 43 million FTDs. I think it was the same thing. Like the transfer agent didn't deliver shares to everybody at the get-go, but everybody decided to allow trading. Does that make sense to you?
If everybody would have allowed it, that would have been fine. But they didn't.
There would have been a lot of failures to deliver. Like if TD Ameritrade allowed trading, but they didn't have them, it would have been millions, hundreds of millions of failures to deliver 2 days later.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out the next couple of days because, there's a lot to sort out here. You know, the company called the transfer agent numerous times on Friday to assure that they had done everything. And, we were told many times that, it's just a matter of, getting the shares, the roundups, round downs, and however they're handling the ratios and whatnot, which is not our control. We gave the parameters to NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually put the release out at 4:00, just before 4 o'clock, I think it was. I actually saw it after.
It was weird because it was on NASDAQtrader.com. It wasn't even on NASDAQ. It was totally bizarre. Like I've never seen a reverse split announcement like this. It was across the board. Nothing against you, Frank, but across the board, very poorly handled.
Well, obviously, that has zero to do with me.
I know. That's why I'm saying nothing against you. I'm saying nothing against you. That's not your fault. You're not the one writing the press releases.
No, that was put out by NASDAQ Trader. That wasn't issued by us.
But why was it not on NASDAQ? Again, not your job, but it was just really bizarre. Like I was trying to help people on Friday and I have no answers. Like I can't even understand what's going on. On Thursday night. Sorry. It was just totally bizarre.
I had, judging by my response that you may or may not have seen, it caught me off guard. I got notified by a shareholder sending me a message. Is this true?
Yeah.
I said, well.
So I'm going to hit you with one other hard question, Frank, and I know you probably can't answer, but I said this early on Friday, and other people have said it since then. Let me just ask you one question before I ask my question. Do you know how many authorized shares the company had prior to the reverse split?
I think it was 192, something along those lines. Because post split, it was I think 7.7, between 7.2 and 7.7. I haven't seen the exact yet.
This again is going to be a tough question, and if you can't answer it, that's fine. But I need to verbalize it for my viewers. I've seen the CEO Handbook 101 when a company needs cash, and it's very common that we see a dilution after a reverse split. Have they talked to you about that at all, or are you thinking about that at all?
My conversations with them have been extremely limited. I believe that they're aware that I wasn't happy with the outcome and the way it was released. And they know that I am very pro retail. I've always been, fighting on the side of retail guys. So they're actually limiting what they're telling me at this point because they want to, I guess it's all hush hush, and whatever they're doing, I'm not that aware of it at the moment. I'm sure I will be, but they're keeping a lid on everything right now.
I understand. And I just want to say, whatever happens, I understand the companies and CEOs across the board. I'm not picking on Cosmos. Across the board, every company needs to do what they need to do to ensure the viability and the survivability of the company. And if that means that at some point in the future, another shelf offering is coming, well, then we'll deal with that when it happens. But I owe it to my viewers to let them know that is a possibility. That's always a possibility because when you reverse split, you decrease the outstanding shares in the hands of shareholders, and the company has the ability to reissue new shares. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I have no idea. You're saying you don't know, but I just want to take this second just to tell my viewers, hey, at some point that could be a possibility. So whatever you're trading in the stock, whoever you're listening to, I know, Frank, you don't want me to say this probably, but that is a possibility.
Like I said, I don't have any knowledge of that at this point. if I hear of anything and they allow me to discuss anything, I will obviously be the first one to tell you, because, the whole point of me being in place is that I am highly communicative. And the worst thing I can say to people is, I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't talked to too many people ever in your position, Frank, and I'm highly skeptical of everybody, including like CEO Adam Aaron. I'm always skeptical of everyone, but I think that, you have been always upfront and honest. So I appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts to the ability that you're able to. And I'm sorry you got to take arrows from people. That's just part of the job, right?
It is what it is. You have to understand, when you step onto a certain career path, you have to know what comes along with it. And it's part of it. When the stock's up, I'm a hero. When it's down, everybody hates it. It's just the way shit goes, bud. But, the one thing that gets to me, and I'll be honest, is that, there are people out there saying that, I knew about this and I'm a liar. And that bothers me, because I'm so out front and I speak to everybody all the time, Sunday, Saturday, I don't care. There's no purpose for me to lie, because it doesn't help me or the company.
And at the end of the day,
if it goes up, goes down, I don't care.
If you are lying, then that's going to ruin your reputation, and that is no good for your longevity in this business. So I appreciate you sharing what you can. People are asking, what's the new ticker symbol going to be? The ticker symbol, guys, is not changing. COSM is the ticker symbol. There was a QSIP change. That's what I call the behind the scenes barcode number. Look, if you buy macaroni and cheese, you got the 6-ounce package and the 12-ounce package. They both have different barcodes. The QSIP is a behind the scenes tracking number for a stock, and any stock that splits or reverse splits gets a new QSIP.
They changed the name too, Tony. They changed the name of the company too.
I was going to get into that. The QSIP is irrelevant. This happens in every stock split and every reverse split. The company name is also changing from Cosmos Holdings to Cosmos Health. I already saw that most of the brokers already reflected that. And Frank, I know you have one opinion that is important, that the QSIP and the name changed. I have a different opinion. We can agree to disagree, and we will find out next week if that is meaningful or not.
Well, our opinions are the same. I think we just had a miscommunication. By changing the name, it becomes an entirely new security. Now, that means that the wirehouses have to reconcile their books. It doesn't mean that a short has to close out the position. That's on the wirehouse. If the wirehouse says we're calling in the paper, then they call it in. If they choose not to call it in, that's a different story. There's no set in stone activity. Does it help certain wirehouses? Yeah, they are going to call it in. Just like people last week decided to trade in I don't know, phantoms, whatever you want to call it, IOUs. So, it's all to the individual house. But depending on how things go, and the fact that we do have share intel in place, I don't know. I think that it's got the potential. I don't want to say yes, no, and different, because just like you, just like everybody else out there, we don't know.
I always wake up every day, Frank, hopeful that anything will cause some naked shorting or some, synthetic shorts to be uncovered. And if that is the case in this one, well, I guess we'll know next week. Because look, I already see people saying, why isn't AMC going to do a QSIP and a name change? That will cause the shorts to cover. Let's hold off, guys. Let's watch what happens with Cosmos next week before you get too ahead of yourselves. I've seen all of this play out before. I've never really seen it do anything meaningful, but a lot of people were reading a lot into Friday's price action. It went up to 92 cents. If you back out the split price. For me, that just barely went over where it was 10 days ago. So I think it's a little premature to call that a short squeeze. But next week, if you see it run up to 2,500, lose target $100. Well, then I'll get behind saying that AMC needs to do a QSIP and name change, because clearly that kicked off something. So I wake up every day hopeful, Frank. I'm not trying to throw wet water on anything. I'm just saying let's like level set our expectations and see what happens before we count on something.
I agree. You know, I would say if you're trading off your phone and in between meetings at work, I'd be pretty careful, because I think the moves are going to be pretty violent.
Frank, I tell my folks, if they're going to be trading this, they need to not leave their screen and put their adult diapers on, because you can't walk away.
And set limits everywhere, because you know this is going to test the resolve. But like any stock that has a unique set of circumstances, which this certainly does. I mean, it's been unique from the day I got into it.
Yep.
Between the warrants and the listing, and this has been overly exciting, to say the least. And I don't think we're done with that. So, you know, and don't forget, this is all just on trading. You know, the company hasn't even rolled out its plan for the future. This is all just
I was holding some Cosmos last week, hoping that there was going to be some news, like some press coming out. Like, I have no idea what's coming out, but I was hopeful. And then that damn reverse split news dropped on us, and it kind of flushed me out, because I've played that game before. My mistake. I got out too soon. I got out on Thursday after market, and I enjoyed none of the run up on Friday.
Nobody could have seen that. Nobody. I don't care if you're the greatest trader in the world. Nobody could have seen that set of miscues turning into a rocket ship.
That potential good news is still potentially out there, right? Acquisitions, and I don't know what else.
Greg had always said to me that the number one priority was getting the listing straightened out. Once that was done, he has developments that he's expecting. I don't know what they are. I don't know when they're coming. I'm not giving you a Monday or Friday. I don't know. Please don't ask me 17 times on Twitter when news, because first of all, I can't tell you. Second of all, I don't know. You know, he's working with the element of surprise across the board here, which I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. You know, we all find out at the same time. We can all react to it.
And you really can't say anything before the company does an official press release. Is that right?
That would be
people that are asking you on Twitter.
They ask me literally 100 times a day, between the DMs and the text messages, and hey, any good news coming out tomorrow? Even if I knew, I can't tell you. You know, that puts you and me and the company at risk.
Yeah.
If that's something that you want, you need to rethink your position, because if I tell somebody, God forbid, that, hey, we got something coming out, and it does, and you trade that information, you just violated insider trading laws.
Right.
So did I. So, you know, just be careful what you ask for, because some answers you don't want, and some questions you don't want the answers to.
Any final thoughts for the folks, Frank?
No, just you know, as always, you know how to reach me. I try to return every message, every call. This is unique, and I don't have the answers you're looking for at this moment. And the one thing you know about me is when I have them, I give them to you immediately. Okay? I love the retail community. I care about you guys, and doing the best we can under just a very unique set of circumstances.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes on a Sunday night to come on and talk with the folks.
But so, like I said, you'll know where to find me. So if you have any questions or anything, I'll do the best I can to answer. And I promise you, I give you my word, the second I do something and I can release it, I will. I'm not holding out on you.
All right. Grazie mille.
You have a great night. Take care, y'all.
Cheers. All right, guys, that was Frank, the investor relations contact from Cosmos. Not a lot of answers that you guys are wanting to hear. I think we've mostly gone over this, but it's good to, that it's good. It's good that he's taking the time out to at least come out front and try and talk to you guys and share what he knows. And I always try and do my best to do the same. Look, I was not pumping Cosmos before it started running. I'm not giving any price targets or dates for Cosmos. I'm playing the chart. That's all I do. It's a momentum trade for me. I wish them the best of luck. If it's running on Monday, I'm going to be right in there with you guys playing it. And if it's falling, well, then I'll wait and see if there's an opportunity for me to buy it. If I think that I can buy it cheap enough for a good news announcement at some point in the future. What we're always doing on this channel is trying to find a good entry. You're looking for that good entry where if you got to hold something for a while, that you don't feel the pain of watching it keep on going down, 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 down. And I pray for all of you that couldn't trade on Friday, that your brokers get it straightened out tomorrow, and that the stock goes back up, that there's some FOMO and that it goes back up. And if it's going up tomorrow, I'll be right in there playing it with you, and I'll be live doing it. Doc Zeno says, I think the SPY will tank to 350 this week. I don't know about this week, Doc, but I have a high level of concern on the SPY between now and, say, end of January. I think that the market as a whole is going to be very concerned. I've talked about this over the past few live streams. The market's going to be concerned about deteriorating earnings going into the next quarter, and that we could see the entire market get rug pulled. So all of you that are trading bullish, look, I'm waiting. There's a lot of companies that I'm looking at to buy on the cheap in the next 30 days if the opportunity presents itself. Blue chip companies. That has nothing to do with day trades or anything that we do on momentum or day to day. I'm talking about things that we're holding for 1 to 5 years. All these big names: Google, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Nike, all of them. I have started adding some of them. Disney, another one. Started adding some of them. Other ones, I'm setting up my price targets. If it hits that, so I get a notification. All right, time to start buying. Could it go lower than my price target on any of these? Yes, it could go lower, but in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm going to be fine. Not all of my portfolio is playing momentum and meme trades. I'm trying to load it up with good, solid plays at companies that I know they have historical good returns. They're in a bad spot at the moment because of the economy, supply chain, yada, 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 recession, lower retail buying power. All you guys know the story. And I want you guys to be thinking like that too. I want you, ideally, to be building a broad risk balanced portfolio where you're not trying to put all your money into 1 or 2 plays that you're expecting to go up 10,000%. But God, that would have been beautiful if we had everything invested in Cosmos on Friday morning at 23 cents. Kicking myself. Grandpa Barney, what's up, amigo? Anything Goes says there will be crazy FOMO buying on Cosmos in pre-market tomorrow. I've got an early meeting tomorrow at 7:15-ish. But I'm hoping to be up anything goes at 3 or 4 in the morning, watching Cosmos and everything else in pre-market, and make up my mind if I'm gonna take any early trades. V-Dog says, who's up at 4 a.m.? I try and be up every morning at 3 to 4 a.m. I don't set an alarm. I wake up when I wake up. Sometimes that means I miss shit. R. Baglio says, if you had to choose which play you like best, CEI, BBIG, MMAT for a run-up. Oh my gosh, R. Baglio. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't like any of those tickers. However, that being said, I have all of them on my watch list, Mr. Baglio, for momentum. None of these companies have great financials. None of them have any reason for me to hold them. But if they are moving, I will participate in an upward movement. That's the brutal truth. I mean, I've been being asked about those companies for the past couple weeks, and I think they've all been going down. I don't like buying stuff until it's moving in the other direction. And when I see 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of increasing momentum and increasing volume relative to the past dailies on the past week or two, or some news, I'll jump in and I'll write it for the day, and I'll be out by the end of the day. CEI is a hot mess. MMAT's a hot mess. CGRA, hot mess. I mean, all of these penny stock guys, they're a hot mess. GTII, hot mess. What were some of the other ones we were talking about in the Discord today that you guys were asking me about? There was another one someone was asking me about. Someone help me out. Someone with a badge by your name. Someone was asking me about a stock today. Wasn't AVCT, but this company has never made revenue. They've diluted 6x in the last 4 years. They've got another dilution coming. I'm waiting for someone to pop the ticker up in the chat that is in my Discord. I was like, look, guys, this 6x dilution, there's another one coming. They've never made a profit. I can't. Nope, not UEC, not WLAN. I can't buy or recommend these companies, but if retail decides that today's the day to run it up, hell yeah, we'll be all over it. Was it LMNOP? GDVM? I don't know. Let me look in the Discord. I can probably pull it up. Since nobody's mulling, no. Was it CEI? It was CRTD, created. Here's what I said in the Discord. Someone was asking me, look, hey, the CEO created is dropping bombs about naked shorts. This is the type of CEO that we need. I'm like, okay, that's great messaging. Created CEO is saber rattling about naked shorts. But the fact of the matter is, created is being shorted because he's diluted. This is my words. He's being shorted because he's diluted shareholders by a factor of 6x in the last 4 years. He just issued another dilution notice. Their cash position is treacherous. They're in a negative 1.4 months of cash, and the company has never made a profit. Like, you guys can listen to whoever you want on Created. I know there's a lot of people rah-rahing that stock. I'm looking at the dilution and the financials. That company is a train wreck. But never, guys, never if you're a momentum trader, if you're a day trader like me, never underestimate retail's willingness to buy up and push up shitty stocks. I will day trade those every single time. What you'll never see me do is making a video saying this is a buying opportunity. I don't care what the short interest is. I don't care what the CEO does. It's a dumpster fire of a company. But if it's moving, I'll trade it. I'll be right there with you. You don't need me making videos on it. I got too much integrity to do that shit to you guys. $17.96. Yes, I remember you guys asking me a week ago if Elon was selling stock, and I went on Fintel to see if there were any filings. I went on the SEC Edgar site to see if there were any filings, and when I looked, there weren't. And then later that night, boom, the bomb dropped. He'd been selling a shit ton. Elon's trying to raise some cash, billions of dollars. Mullen, guys, all right, let's talk about Mullen because I see a bunch of you asking about it. This is the harsh truth on Mullen. I was going to buy Mullen at, what's it at right now? Oh, it's at 20-ish cents, right? 20, 23, 26, I forget. I was going to buy it at 19.20, but in my mind, it's going down to 15. So I was being a dick about it. I was like, I'm not buying Mullen till it gets to 15 cents. But I always said Mullen will trade on news. Mullen will run on news. Many of these penny stocks will run on news. The news came out, God damn it, before I could get in Mullen. So I'm kind of kicking myself at not getting it at 18.9, 19 cents. And then that news came out. But the news that came out on Mullen is what I call PPN, plausible pump news. Mullen went up. I am 100% confident that I'm going to be able to buy Mullen right back down to 15 to 19 cents in the coming weeks. You can hate me for saying that, but look, I've traveled that road many times. A lot of people hate me for saying stuff, and they never come back and say, God damn it, motherfucker, you were right. I wish I would have listened. Mullen's about to do a reverse split. They're about to do a dilution to 5 billion. All of that news was good news, plausible pump, but it's not news enough to keep the stock up. So you'll see that dink, and then you'll see dink. It's going to come right back down. And whether it's pre-split or post-split, I'll bet you a 6-pack that I'll be able to get Mullen for 15 cents. And then I'm going to need to hold it till 2024 to have a chance of getting my chance to get a return on that stock if they don't go bankrupt, which they're probably not. When they dilute and they sell more shares, they'll have enough cash to make it. Then it's all about execution. Blazin says, watch the video earlier suggesting Elon's virtual power plant could have a massive effect on the power grid in Texas. Blazin, remind me, because it's late and I've had a little bit of coquito. Send me a DM in the Discord so I can check on that in the morning. I have not read that article yet. Our power grid in Texas is always on the verge of brownouts. I'll tell you that. Grandpa Barney says, I apologize for agreeing with him, Tony. Wait, it's going too fast. I apologize for agreeing with who? Who are you agreeing with, Grandpa? You can always get a pass, Grandpa. I'm not bearish on Mullen, guys. I'm just a realist. Mullen has a lot of challenges. I keep on seeing EV companies and self-driving companies putting out bad news, cutting back, laying people off. Mullen's got to get to mass production of the Mullen 5. I know they got the iGo. I know they got the vans. I know they got a dealer. That's not enough for me. I'm not emotionally invested in Mullen. I'm telling you from a unbiased, like very critical investor, would I buy Mullen for a speculative investment, knowing they have 5 billion of dilution and a reverse split coming up? Maybe at 15 cents. Yeah, look, everybody knows IV Go. It's they're going to make a little bit of money on that. Vans, look, they're buying vans from China and they're doing a little bit of upgrade to them. The profit margin on this, guys, is minimal. Am I an auto manufacturing expert? No, but I've worked in manufacturing. I've worked in factories. I've built factories. I know about transformation cost. They're not going to make that much money. It's better than zero. But until they get the Mullen 5 coming, I'm very skeptical. You can believe whoever you want. Come back and check with me in 6 months. You can hate me now. Tomorrow's news today. What do I think about ADA and Bitcoin? I have been moving to cash in my crypto, Brett. I'm still very concerned about what's going to happen with crypto in the next 30 days. I have a little bit left in my cold wallet. I think you should get everything off of the exchanges unless you're a day trader. And you should, long term, I'm bullish on crypto. Right now, I'm more conservative than most. I don't like losing money. Will Bed Bath & Beyond see another run up forever? And Ape says maybe if they get their shit fixed. If you are a long-term listener of this channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of any company. If I have 10,000 stocks to pick from, I'm not going to pick generally companies that have brick and mortar stores with inventory. That's not the future. Bed Bath & Beyond's got a lot of fucking problems to fix. I'm staying far away from that. If it gets momentum someday, I'll play it, but no, I'm not buying Bed Bath & Beyond anytime soon. I did have some, and so did other people in our Discord, and we sold it the afternoon before Ryan Cohen announced. And we called on the live stream that we were getting out, and everybody hated us. And then 2 hours later, the announcement dropped. We sold on that run up. The Ryan Cohen announcement dropped, and people told us we were shills, we were bears, we were paid off. Ryan Cohen would never sell his stock. And then the rug got pulled from that company. I just play the charts, guys, and I use common sense. I'm not in love with the CEO. I'm not in love with any company. I try and use a little bit of experience, and I don't pay attention to clickbait. That makes us undoubtedly the most hated channel on YouTube covering your favorite stocks, because I tell you what I think, I tell you how it is, and I don't tell you what you want to hear. But goddamn, we've other than not selling AMC at 72, we've called a lot of shit right. My general belief is if you like a company and you can analyze it unemotionally, you can figure out a good entry to buy that company. Like I didn't enter Mullen till $1, then a 68 cents. And then when it ran up, I sold it, took a profit, waited for it to come back down to 68 cents, bought a little more. I'm waiting now for it to run down a little more. And when the next good news comes out, I'll sell it again and then wait for it to come back down and buy it again. It's just like you got to know how these things work. Don't fall in love with the company. Don't listen to the clickbaiters. These people that don't read financial statements, don't read what the company's telling you. People that get their information from Twitter for short interest. Like if I see someone post 2,000 short interest on Twitter, I'm going to question that. I'm going to dig into it and compare it to 10 other sources. And guess what? If 10 other sources say it's not 2,000%, I'm not going to make a video saying that Cosmos is going to squeeze because it's 2,000% short interest. You're a fucking idiot to make a video saying that bullshit. You obviously have never worked on Wall Street if you're making videos saying that it's going to be a monster squeeze because of 2,000% short interest. Like, all right, we don't know what it is, 15, 20, 30. It's not 2,000%. But it's good to know what people think. It's good to know what retail is doing, the uninformed idiots, because you can make money, sadly, off of these uninformed idiots. I want you guys to be the informed sharks. Get in cheap, get in early, get out early. A lot of first base hits will help you survive till 2024 while everybody else is going to, everyone that's doing this nonsense, they're not going to be here a year from now. Six Sun asking, am I buying any AMC calls for January? I have, Six Sun. Yes, I have. I have some AMC calls for January and March. And that is not investment advice. That is just what I'm doing. Based on Six Sun, the idea that Avatar will replicate the success of Maverick. When Maverick came out in July of this year, AMC stock went up 100% over the next 6 weeks. Will that repeat in the next 6 weeks with Avatar? Well, I don't know. That's why it's not investment advice. Don't follow my trades. But since you asked the question, I'm going to answer you honestly. I have calls for January and March, just in case. It's a small amount. It's supplemental to my daily trading. If I'm wrong, Scarlett doesn't get a dinner out at the steakhouse. That's it. If I'm right, I make 100, 200, 300%. And with my options, guys, I've got plenty of shares. For all the people talking about the pump and dumpers that are getting indicted and stuff, I've got plenty of shares that are in the red. When I buy calls, those are to throw off extra income. I'm in my overall trade on AMC between options of last year and options trading in the last 12 months. I'm way in the green overall. If I'm audited on my shares of AMC, I'm well in the red. 1, 2, 3, 5 digits, just like you guys. But I make money where I can. And I believe in right now, the idea that this company is going to recover in 2023. Whether they do or not, we're going to analyze that every quarter that comes along. We're going to look at their cash position. We're going to look at the movies that are coming out. We're going to look at the debt. We're going to look at Ape that is being sold. I'm going to be brutally honest with all of you. That's what you're here for. You're not here for clickbait and 20 videos a day. Gary Gensler confirmed the squeeze. Gary Gensler just screwed retail. We don't do that shit here. But I am holding right along with you guys. And I can say that with 100% truthfulness in the SEC, or anybody can come look at my trading records. I am in the red on my shares right along with you guys. But the reason I am holding those, even though there was a run up and a squeeze in June, is I think there's a high potential and that these shorts are misanalyzing this play. Whether or not I'm right, hey, only time will tell. The bears and the shills, they think I'm grossly incorrect. Well, there's always two sides to every play. I'm not always right. I might be wrong on this one. But you guys know I love movies. I love watching them in the big theater. I don't think theaters are going anywhere. And I'm very bullish on 2023 for AMC. Competitors are going bankrupt. We got credit cards. We got popcorn. I don't hate the CEO. And right now, the things I think are stacked in our favor. Are there problems? Sure, there's problems. No one's shying away from those. But we take it quarter by quarter. Six Sun says, are the two ladies that you were hanging out with earlier? That was my poor attempt, Six Sun, at Photoshop. Although, Six Sun, you'll be happy to know that Scarlett did, I showed her that thumbnail. She was not very happy. But she said she would pose with me in a future thumbnail. So when we make that happen, I will let you know. Well, you'll see it. You'll see it firsthand. She said, maybe I could light the cigar for you, Tony. All right. Well, we'll let the photographer drive the action, but we'll get some good screenshots at some point, some good thumbnails coming out. I was just working on 30 minutes of Photoshop to put my face on that photo. Pablo says that I see Dave Lauer's interview with Gary. I did not watch the interview yet, but I've seen all the comments, Pablo. And I talked to Dave Lauer briefly earlier today. And I just want to say something, because it's some of the comments that he's getting. And I want you guys to go read the comments on Dave's Twitter post. And I will watch the interview, maybe tomorrow. But in the comments, there's so much meat for you guys to digest. Good questions that people are asking and great answers from Dave Lauer. And I think that over the last 2 years, we've kind of lost our way in understanding what is reality and what is conspiracy theory and what is clickbait. Dave has given you guys solid answers. He worked in that environment. He's like literally the one that worked on Wall Street. I don't care what fucking YouTuber says it's my world. Bullshit. Dave Lauer worked in that world. You should, even if you don't like what he's telling you, you should listen to it. And you don't have to agree with it, but you should always look at both sides. I try and listen to people that I agree with and people I don't agree with. Dave has a good understanding of how the market plumbing works. And there's a lot of people that are calling him a shill and a paid off, blah, blah, blah. But I found that most of his answers I didn't see anything that I disagreed with in his answers. And the one thing that I want to say, the one thing that I wanted to highlight is that when we say, we want to have no retail trades and dark pools, we need to change that. We need to change that slogan to say, we want no retail trades off exchange. Why am I saying that? Because dark pools are a subset of off exchange. The lit exchange is where the price discovery happens. Off exchange, whether it's a dark pool or a Citadel, they're both off exchange, but Citadel's is not a technical dark pool, but it still does not contribute to price discovery. So what we need to ask for is we want all retail orders to a lit exchange. Forget the word dark pool. I want your slogan to be, we demand all retail trades be routed to a lit exchange. Then all bases are covered, and Gary Gensler knows exactly what you want. We want true price discovery off of our trades. Mick says, what is my thesis on bankruptcy? Mick, it's going to depend on how the next 2 quarters go. But right now, if I analyze AMC's cash position and credit facilities, I think they're good for 12 months. And that's me giving them a benefit of a good Q1 and Q2, or Q4 and Q1, sorry, the next 2 quarters. Now, if Avatar is a flop, we're going to reassess. I'll give you an updated answer. But right now, I'm making an assumption that Avatar is going to be $2 billion in box office over the next 1 to 2 quarters, and that the cash burn on AMC will be less. And so we'll take it quarter by quarter. Right now, the risk is there. I don't know if I can give it a percentage, Mick, but yeah, there's always a risk when a company is cash burning. But they have Ape to generate cash, and the movie cycle is getting better and better. They've got retail popcorn coming up. They've got credit cards. What is that going to contribute? I don't know for either one. So it's hard for me to say with certainty. But it's not 1%. It's not 100%. Anyone who's saying the company is going bankrupt is ignoring any bullish possibilities. So fuck those guys. If that changes, Mick, I will let you know. 1796 says, am I behind the Marine or any other group that is going to protest in January? 100%, Patriot. Anybody that wants to protest, that's your right. I will support that right. I think as I talked to Mike, the Marine, I think we need to have a cohesive bullet point message that the media or anybody watching from the outside can understand, just like BLM, defund the police. You got to have something that is impactful in 5 words or less. So that's what I want to see from these people organizing a protest, and that's going to be my continued guidance to them. AMC is not going to be delisted because of a protest or a lawsuit. That is, whoever's telling you that, my buddy up in New York, fucking nonsense. If you're saying that, you're being paid to say it. Sorry to say, Lou. You're either an idiot or you're being paid to say. Nobody gets delisted because of a protest. Grandpa says, I was apologizing for agreeing with that CEO. Hang on, it's running off the screen. Apologizing for agreeing with the CEO that was going off, but then you talked about how the company's in trouble and having issues. Oh, which company, Grandpa? CEI or Cosmos? Oh, CRTD, created. Yeah. Blazin says, I highly doubt AMC goes bankrupt. Yes, Adam Aaron has apes to sell whenever he needs cash. Look, that's the golden ticket, what I call it. Whatever price he's selling it at, God forbid he's selling it at today's price. But he can sell as many ape as he wants to generate cash. AMC's not going bankrupt. Angelina, oh, thank you. Scarlett would love to see that comment. Much prettier than the thumbnail. I agree, Scarlett. I mean, Angelina, I agree. I'll see if I can get her in lingerie for the photo shoot, though. I definitely want the red hair draping into the thumbnail. Whether she's lighting my cigar in a sundress or cowboy boots or lingerie, we'll leave that up to her comfort level. She's very shy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Clark says 2 days after Elon took over Twitter, Malfunkin was banned from putting videos out about AMC. Huh. I wonder what happened. I know the gentleman that you're talking about. I haven't watched his videos because they're too long, Clark. Shawley says Avatar earned 436 million worldwide. That is about the numbers that I've been seeing. Have you guys seen all of the press releases this morning talking about how bad Avatar was doing? They couldn't wait to call the weekend this morning. Avatar is doing horrible. I'm like, I looked in my city at all of the showings of Avatar. Almost all of them were sold out. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. CNBC reporters, entertainment reporters, Avatar is doing horrible. Fuck you guys. Liars. Liars. Eric says, Tony just got here. I'm sure you already talked about Cosmos, but could you reiterate your thoughts on it? Yeah, we had Frank. Frank stopped in briefly from Cosmos, Investor Relations, and I talked about Cosmos. Next week, Monday, is going to be, look, volatility is the word of the day. Everybody that couldn't trade it on Friday is going to be able to trade on Monday. There's a lot of pumping that's going on over the weekend. Like I told them in the Discord, no idea what's going to happen. If it's moving, I'll be playing it. What I do know about Avatar is that the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is like 94%. The critics were like 84%, but what the hell do they know? Lordy says, Tony, excuse the joke. Your wife is the best of you being in the red. Yes. It is, Lordy, it's problematic living with a redhead, but she's worth it every second. Fulana says Mission Impossible coming up. Indiana Jones, Transformers, even Mario looks good to me. I'm going to go see Mario. I don't even have kids of that age bracket anymore. Devstat says he saw a hit piece about a man having a heart attack because he watched Avatar. What the hell? I did not see that one. Clark says Malfunkin admits he doesn't know everything, but his intentions are good. I'm sure his intentions are good. Yeah. I just can't watch a 1.5 hour video. If he could put out like a 5-minute summary, I'd watch that. What's up with BBIG? I don't know, Michael. I haven't looked at it recently. If it's moving, if it starts moving up, I'll play it. I sold my BBIG calls right before the spinoff. Sam Wise, what's up? Hallie, what's going on? Am I going to get into AMC if it moves tomorrow? So, guys, I bought AMC on Friday. You guys know, if you've been here for a long time, I've only been buying APE since August. I've added AMC calls for January and March, and Friday at what's the price of AMC? 5.25. I bought AMC, I think, at 522 ish on Friday. It started getting low enough that I was like, all right, I'll buy a little bit. Could it go lower? Maybe. Are they going to short the fuck out of it? If they're stupid, they will. But, you know, next week is really going to be the indicator of, you know, where we go with Avatar. And we got the teeter-totter of Avatar versus market negative sentiment for the overall market. That who's going to win, I don't know. Our Baglio says, does due diligence help you in a bear market? Due diligence helps me understand if a company is profitable, Mr. Baglio, if they've been doing dilution, if they have upcoming dilution, if they have warrants, so many things. Like when we're looking at penny stocks, especially all these squeeze plays people are talking about. Yeah, of course, DD helps. But in a bear market, like to do chart TA and try and predict, you know, all these people that do the TA and say the chart's doing this, so therefore tomorrow, next week, it's going to go up 100%. No, you can't do that in a bear market. And you certainly can't do it on a squeeze play. They'll squeeze when they squeeze. What we want to do is get in something when it's moving. Mick says Cosmos 1 for 25 seems to have worked out. Should AMC do a reverse split? Just a recap on Cosmos. Remember, guys, I know I saw all the tweets. I saw the video thumbnails. Cosmos on Friday, half the people couldn't trade it. Half of your fellow retail investors were fucking stuck because of their broker. So I want you to think of the fact that half the supply that could have potentially sold could not sell on Friday. You got that, right? Of course it ran up. Nobody could fucking sell. It was a perfect storm, literally. Wait and see what it does next week before you make any rash judgments on Cosmos. What cigar did I have today? This was a Ashton Monarch. Generally, guys, 98% of the time, a reverse split over a 30 to 90 day period is a very bearish thing. Can you find a company that runs up after a reverse split? I'm sure you could find one or two. But if we do a random sampling of 20, most of them go down. And I'm not talking in the first 5 days. I'm talking about over 30, 60, 90 days. Clark says, if the hedge funds send a big bulk of our trades to the dark pool, what would stop them from sending more to the dark pool? Nothing, Clark. Nothing's going to change on any ticker that is having a majority of their shares routed off exchange until a catalyst happens that creates overwhelming buying pressure or causes the shorts to double think that shorting is smart. Hallie says Cosmos took a massive hit after hours. Yep. I was talking to Massalorian on Friday at 2 p.m., 1 hour before the market closed, Hallie, and I told him at that time, and he'll tell you this is the truth. I said Cosmos will end the day at $8.50. And then after hours it dropped to $7.50. So I was close. It was a FOMO run up and it was a Friday sell off. I told the people in the Discord, take your profits. You got to be worried about the Friday sell off. And yeah, it happened exactly like I thought. Karen, what is up? Hoorah. Shout out to the fellow military members. Karen, thank you for your service. Mick says, who issued the credit card for AMC? What was the name of that company? Someone help me out in the chat. I know someone knows. Look, I'm sure the interest rate on the AMC credit card is high. I will always tell you guys in life, this is common sense. And I do the same thing in my own life. Do not fucking have credit cards. If you got credit cards, if you're stuck in credit card debt, pay your credit cards off. Start with the highest interest rate one. Don't even invest in the stock market until you got your credit cards paid off. That is a fucking anchor around your neck, drowning you. But if you want to get an AMC credit card and use it to get points and pay it off every month and not accrue interest rate charges, you know, nothing wrong with that. I might do the same thing. You know, I've spent the past few decades getting rid of all of my credit cards. I'm not a big credit card fan. Especially ones that have high interest rates, but some people will get it. And incremental revenue that the company earns is better than doing nothing. So am I going to support them having a credit card? 100%. Of course I'm going to support them having a credit card or retail popcorn. For you listeners of this channel, don't fucking have credit cards. If you do, don't charge more than you can pay off every month. If you want to improve your credit score, carry a very small balance. It doesn't help your credit score to have zero balance. Keep $10 on it. If you've got a $500 credit limit or a $5,000 credit limit and you've got $10 charge on it, that is a plus for your credit score. If you've got a $500 credit limit and you've got $495 charge on it, that is a negative on your credit score. Do not carry balances on your credit cards. Having a credit card or two helps you. Carrying a big balance close to your maximum limit is horrible. Pay those fuckers off. Before you invest money in the stock market, before you go buy $200 of shots at the bar on Friday, get a second job, pay off your credit cards, do yourself a favor, improve your credit score. Canuck says, why aren't you and Mass streaming together? Maybe he's mad that I cussed too much on Friday, Canuck. I don't know. I tried calling him a couple hours ago and he didn't pick up. And I didn't even know that he was streaming tonight till I got the notice 30 minutes before I went on live. But I tried calling him. You know, the plan on Friday is that we were going to stream together. So How many mojitos have I had? I've had this of Coquito on the community tab. Remember, guys, you know, if you're paying 19, 20, 24% on your credit card and you pay that fucker off, that's like getting a 19, 20, 24% return in the stock market. Don't be dumb. Pay off your credit cards first. Get a second job if you have to. I know it sucks. I lived that life in my 20s, having 2, 3 jobs. In college, I thought it was cool to have 20 credit cards. That is stupidity. And once I realized the alligator that I had chasing me, I decided to pay them all off and never do that again. Pay your credit cards off, then save some money in your savings account, then invest in the stock market. Senior Moment says, what is the drink of the evening? Well, we had a little bit of Coquito, and now we're working on, I just poured my first shot of Casamigos tequila. Smells a little bit like Patron. The taste is not so good. I don't know. I still have not found a tequila that goes down as smooth as Patron. I'm still trying. James says the shorts have to know AMC is not going bankrupt. Why not cover at this low price and get out? James, let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks as the Avatar numbers come in. I really don't think that it doesn't make sense to keep shorting AMC at these prices. But James, the only thing I'll say is if the market is going to get wrecked in the next 30, 60 days, which I think it could, they might think that they could get a little bit more out of it. If the market crashes, if the S&P crashes, if the Dow Jones crashes, everything's going to go with it. Anything goes, says Dave Ramsey would love you. Dave has some good basic advice. Dave Ramsey. Peter says, Massalorian says he's been texting me all day. All right. I've got my text right here. Let me check. It's doing this circle. It's not loading my text. Can't see shit. I don't know what's going on with this texting app. I can see all my phone calls. He didn't call me. He didn't email me. My texts are not loading. This app is just like hosed. Someone is Casamigos George Clooney's? I don't know. This is my first bottle of trying Casamigos. Oh, it does say George Clooney in the bottom left. Yeah. Well, George, give me a call because you're not as smooth as Patron. Holy fuck. Thank you, Angelina. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Canuck says, I think the second weekend box office for Avatar will be bigger than the first. I hope so. I decided I called an audible today because Scarlett was doing stuff this morning, and I wanted to go see Avatar again with her this weekend. I went with my son on Friday or Thursday, and I wanted to go see it with her this weekend, but I decided because it was doing pretty good this weekend that we will go see it together this coming week to get on week number 2 to, try and support the second week box office numbers. Don Julio, 1942. I do like Don Julio. That's some good shit. James says, restart phone. Tried it twice, James. Don Julio, some good shit. All right, I'm going to restart my phone one more time. Oh, man. I wish I had one more cigar, but all the rest are on the other side of the house. Sergeant Beef in the house. What's up, amigo? For anybody who's never heard this story before, if you would like to know how to get a free shot of tequila, anybody want to know how to get a free shot? I'll share one of my secret stories with you. When you're out and about at the bars, it's worked for me so many times. Girls, if you're female, you already know how to get a free shot. Men, this is especially for you because it's much more difficult for us. I mean, if you can find a bartender that kind of likes you, every now and then I find one, I get free drinks, but sometimes we need to have some secret ammo. I'm gonna share one with you if anybody wants to know. James says, how do we get a free shot? I'm going to tell you, it's worked for me numerous times, James. You go to your neighborhood bar. Hopefully they at least recognize you. And you tell them, says sign in failed. Go to your bar and tell the bartender that you are a particular fan of Patron and you have yet to find a single tequila that tastes better than Patron. Do they have any recommendations? 9 times out of 10, when I've started with that storyline, the bartender has said, I'm going to give you a free shot of my favorite tequila alongside your Patron. And you let me know which one tastes better. Nine times out of 10, that's got me a free second shot. And I still have not found one that tasted better than Patron, but I always tell them, oh yeah, that's really good. All right. So I do have a text now from Massalorian. I see it here. One text at 12:51 p.m. One text, not all day. But he did text me this afternoon. I couldn't see it till right now. Bondi, yes, you do need to buy the Patron shot because you need to give them a plausibility that you're doing a taste. You're doing a head to head. Terry said, "Isn't Karen C married?" Karen, you're not married, right? But she does have a boyfriend named Terry. I don't know if it's Terry Kennedy. Terry, Karen, I don't know your boyfriend's last name, but he is hilarious, guys. If you can ever hang out with Karen and Terry, that's going to be a good time. Bondi says, what if you tell them you're used to drinking cheap tequila? I don't know. I've never tried that. I know it works and I stick to that story. There's been a couple of random bars where I used to frequent that somehow the female bartender took a liking to me, and I could always walk in there and get free drinks the entire night. I don't have any secret to that. But as I'm getting older, that's probably becoming less common. The tequila challenge has always worked. This is getting a little better when I'm into the third or fourth sip of the Casamigos. James says Miller Lite for me. That is the state drink down here in Texas, James. Doug says alcohol is bad for you. It is, definitely. Doug, this is my dinner tonight, believe it or not. I had one meal today. Scarlett bought some, what did she buy? Some pork carnitas. So I toasted some corn tortillas. I cooked up the pork carnitas this afternoon around lunchtime, 12 o'clock when I woke up late. I slept in late today. God bless Sundays. And I had to chastise her for not buying the cotija white Mexican crumbly cheese. All we had was shredded cheddar. Like, how are you going to make pork carnitas on tostadas with no cotija cheese? Don't ever do that again, Scarlett. Anyways, I had two of those. That was my entire food for the day. I can afford a couple extra calories. Might be bad for me, but it's not horrible. It's better than having a bag of chips, I'll tell you that, or some Cheetos or whatever else. Terry says there's a tequila called Don Julio Blanco. It is very good. Yes. If you guys have not tried Don Julio, it's I think a good second to Patron Silver. We usually buy the Patron Reposado. All right, you guys got any other stock or ticker questions for me? I might not be, I might not tell you what you want to hear, but I'll field any questions. Have I ever had pulque? I don't know what pulque is. No. What is up with ape shares run? Good question. My last ape share purchase was at $1. I'm going to hold off on buying until I see what happens in the next week. William says GTII might squeeze by year end. I hope it does. When GTII goes below 45 cents, I might grab some just for the next retail run up on good news. I'm trying to get my stock trading screen up here on the other monitor. Hang on one second. Not wanting to move. Maybe if I move these over here. Hang on one second. I lost my chat. We didn't lose the stream, did we? All right, almost there. Almost there. All right, I got it back. What was that ticker symbol again? Oh, CLNV was one. Did I already talk about CEI? Yes, CEI. Not a big fan. Not a big fan unless I see it moving. GTII, same thing. Sundial, same thing. Smart Man says, I wish I could watch a cowboy movie in which you were the star. I wish. There were a couple of music videos that I auditioned for, Smart Man, for some country western singers that were filming here in Austin, but I never got the part. Probably too old. They were all female singers. And I'm sure I was like That looks like her dad, not her boyfriend. Canuck says, thoughts on oil stocks? Tough to call right now. I get asked about those a lot. Energy stocks are tough to call because the global central banks are trying to slow the economy down. Yet China's trying to speed their economy up, and OPEC is trying to keep prices flat or decrease production. Tough for me to call oil stocks. Staying away. But I wish you luck. I try and pick stuff that I have a good feeling about. Am I expecting any big moves for AMC tomorrow? Gus, let's see what the headlines say for Avatar tomorrow. I call it a teeter-totter right now. We got Avatar good news. I think it's going to be good news for Avatar versus general market downward news. How it's going to play out. Look, I bought calls for January and March on AMC, hoping for good Avatar news over the next 2 weeks. That's a little bit of a gamble that I have. I don't know for sure. Canuck says, I can't believe Adam Aaron and the board haven't tried to drum up shares of Ape by announcing their own personal purchases. I could not agree more, my friend. I've said the same thing to Adam here on these live streams in the board. Make the case for Ape, Adam. It's like cheap as fuck. Buy some. You know, retail loves to see the board and the executives buying the stock. Why aren't you buying Ape? People go nuts for that shit. And I think you should make the case, Adam, 72 cents. You should make the case why people who are buying AMC versus buying Ape are not avoiding dilution. They all go to the same financial statements. They all go diluted earnings per share. It's all the same. You're not avoiding dilution by buying AMC. You're getting diluted the same. When Ape is sold, the new Apes, you're getting the same dilution even if you're holding Ape. I mean, even if you're holding AMC. Make the case, Adam. Tell the people the truth. Why am I the only person saying this? Why are you letting people get away with saying that you can avoid dilution by buying AMC? That's bullshit. If you think that you're going to sell Ape and buy AMC and avoid dilution, you don't understand how stocks work. You don't understand how diluted earnings per share works. You're listening to the wrong people. And anyone who wants to debate it, come on my channel. We'll have a talk. If you guys go look at the income statement of AMC, corporate company, and you go look at the total shares, what does it say? It says AMC plus Ape for total shares, and it says diluted earnings per share. You are not avoiding jack shit by holding AMC. That is shill messaging. Something I talked about 3 months ago. For that reason, I've only been buying Ape for the last 3 months, but I did buy some AMC finally on Friday. As I've said to a few people in the Discord, I'm looking to add blue chip stocks. You know, I don't want to just be buying AMC and GameStop. I'm looking at Apple, Tesla, Google, Disney, maybe. Nike. There's a bunch of good blue chip stocks you can pick up in this recessionary market. Not all of them I'm buying right now. Some of them I have lower price targets than where they're at right now. And you should be diversifying your portfolio with some of these blue chip stocks. But I did buy some AMC on Friday. And I bought some GameStop last week too. $22 and it's at $20.80 now. Sure wish I would have waited. Next price target that I have for GameStop is around $19.50. Hecto says, losing my shit on Sundial. Yeah, Sundial's been a hot mess. I need to do a fresh deep dive on Sundial. At least they have these acquisitions that can maybe get them out of the hole. But and I did a video on Sundial maybe 6 months ago. I need to do a fresh deep dive on them and see where they're at. I can't comment on where they're at right now. GTII. I'm going to make a lot of you mad, people that are pumping GTII. Look, I don't care about any company. I read the financials and then I make my choices, and GTII never made a profit. It's got 2 employees. They aren't drawing a salary. They're paying themselves with shares. The CEO is funding the company by writing personal checks. It's a hot mess, guys. Read the financial statements. It's all in there. I'm not telling you anything that's made up. This is all disclosed in their financials. If you want to listen to clickbaiters or pumpers for GTII, there's a reason it is being shorted. But if retail decides to get behind it again and push it up, I'll be right there for a day or 2. But that company is fucked. Lordy says retail is split between AMC and Ape. No one knows which one is going to move more on news. I don't either, Lordy. But shorts don't want Ape up because the golden ticket. I agree. Like I think that, intraday, there might not be a lot of held short interest on Ape, but they are pushing it down. Short close, short close, short close, short close all day on Ape. And you can see that in the daily short volume. They do not want it up. Which one's going to run more? No clue. I think when the day comes that they run, they're both going to run. So I'm going to buy whichever one's cheaper. William says Disney has a high PE ratio. Yeah. I have I drew in my byline for Disney. Let me see if I have it here. It's getting close to where I'm going to consider Disney. What is this? Around $85. I'll start considering Disney. This green line right here. They're a hot mess. Mastalorian and I were talking about it a couple days ago. $203 now, down to $90. Am I going to load the boat at 85? Nope. Could it go lower than 85? 100%. Is Disney going to fix themselves in the next year? Probably not. But look, people have loved Disney for 30, 50 years. You could have bought it when I started investing in the late 80s, let's say 89, you could have bought Disney for $4. There are a lot of hardcore Disney investors that will never sell this stock. If we had to extend this chart out, what makes sense for Disney? I don't know, somewhere in the 70s, maybe 60s. Yeah, it absolutely could fall. I'll start considering it. I set a alert to let me know when it drops below 85 bucks, and then I'll start considering it. I think, look, if you're young and you're looking for something to hold for the next 10, 20 years, you get in Disney at a low enough price, you're going to be fine. Are they a hot mess right now? Yep. Are they going to be fixed in the next 12 months? Nope. Grandpa Barney says, sent you a couple DMs, snowstorm and working car hit a pole again. Oh, shit, Grandpa. Man, you work some late hours, Grandpa. And I thought I had a tough job. Ooh, this Casamigos gets better on every sip. George Clooney. Thoughts on Mullen and Mullen news release, Scott? So I'm calling Mullen the Mullen News PPN, plausible pump news. Many retail stocks, which have a lot of retail bag holders and a lot of retail interest. I like to play these stocks because when news comes out, they run up. So what's Mullen at right now? 30 cents. I'm kicking myself for not buying at 19. When it was at 19 and 20, I was waiting for it to go to 15. And I didn't buy it because I thought I could get it at 15. 19 to 30 would have been a hell of a trade. But with the upcoming meeting, with the reverse split and the dilution to 5 billion shares, whether I get that before December 23rd or after December 23rd, check back with me in a month. I think I will get Mullen at the equivalent of 15 cents. And I will consider buying it then for a hold until 2024. They need the Mullen 5. I know about all the other stuff they have going on. I don't consider those material to the next 12 months. And I think it'll come back down. But check back with me, Sometimes I'm wrong. I was wrong not buying it at 19 cents. I would have loved to grab some at 19 and sell at 30. Okay, good question. If I bought AMC at 85 or 75, where could it go? In the next couple of years, it could easily go 120. it depends on management and what they do to fix the company, guys, and what the economy does. But, when I buy Disney, that's going to be a long-term hold for me. That's a 5-10 year hold. Remember, not everything I'm buying is to 2x by next week. Some things I'm buying because this is a solid company that I know I can hold it with relative security over the next till I die. And if it runs up quick, like Tesla, when it ran from 400, 600 to 1200, that's a bonus. I sold Tesla on the run up to 1200. Karen says 18 years Scotch is better. I'm out of Scotch, Karen. I'm hoping I get some for a Christmas present. What do I have? I've got a bottle of bourbon. I've got a couple bottles of tequila. I need to go. We went to the store the other day and I said, I'm not going to buy any Scotch or bourbon yet until I finish what I got. So we're going to kill this Casamigos and then I'll get some more Johnny Walker Black or something more fancy. Punchy Nuts, good night. What do I think of Amazon? I just bought some Amazon, William. I bought some Amazon. I didn't go all in. Might come down lower in the next 30 days. Great long-term investment. I do not own any Crocs, Broke Ape. In fact, I don't know that it's been a year maybe or more since I've looked at that ticker. Let me pull it up. There's some companies just like I don't get. I'm not a huge fan of the product, but who could complain about buying it in 2009 for 79 cents and watching it going up to 188? I have not looked at any of their financial statements. I can't give you any guidance on Crocs. But if I look at the chart, it's definitely on upward momentum. I'd need to look at the financial statements to see what is going on. They're definitely on a good track. I can't. Am I looking at the right ticker symbol? CROX? Terry, my address is in the video descriptions. I mean, right now, just looking at that chart on the weekly, it looks pretty good. That's the kind of momentum you want to buy into. I would need to, after I see that makes me feel pretty good. We're looking for things that have been beaten down and then moving back up always. But we need to go look at their financial statements and see why they got beat down and why they're going back up. I can't tell you without looking at that. That's a hell of a rundown from everything. Everything got started getting beaten down in November of 2021, right? Everything. Right around Thanksgiving of last year, bear market just eviscerated everything. $46. God, man. 188 to 46. Hell of a time to buy in right there. I can't give you any opinion because I haven't looked at their any details of them. I just don't like the product. But a lot of people do, right? Who owns Crocs here? Be honest. I made the same mistake with Chipotle. Anybody own Chipotle? I used to say back in the day, I remember when Jim Cramer first started covering Chipotle. I was like, why do I want to buy a burrito company? Look at this shit. I had the chance to buy this back in the day for $30. It's at 1,462. My instincts are not always great. I was like, how good can a fucking burrito company do? Well, Tony, you obviously don't know everything. Blazon says his mother likes Crocs. I see a few of you that like Crocs. Girlfriend has Crocs. We have 0 Crocs in this house. But we do occasionally go to Chipotle. Man, $1,462 for a burrito company. Every time I go in Chipotle, the line is like from the counter to the door. What am I doing not buying this company at this point? I don't know. Ooh, getting tired, guys. I think it might be time to get close to wrapping it up. If we want to have a prayer of getting up in pre-market tomorrow to watch Cosmos or whatever else the hell is running manana. So, Karen, can you confirm is Terry Kennedy is not your Terry, right? Candace and who else likes Cholula? Candace, and I saw another comment about Cholula. One of my good friends owns the Tabasco company, competitor of Cholula, the McElhaney's. Any Tabasco fans in the house? Terry says you're drunk, not tired. No, I went to sleep last night, Terry, at about 3 a.m. I woke up early. I went back to sleep. And then I was like on and off sleeping till about noon. So I should not be tired, but my eyes are burning right now. Maybe the cigar. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I've had, a couple. I don't know. Oh, that's your Terry. Okay. Terry. Six on what time are we going to live stream tomorrow? I've got an early morning meeting at 7:15. I should be able to start live streaming at 8:30 tomorrow if the market is not shit. If we got some runners tomorrow, if Cosmos is running, if anything is running that I'm day trading, I'll be live at 8:30. Otherwise, I'll just be on Discord with you guys. Woo. All right, we got Scavenger saying tomorrow pumps into Wednesday. Are we talking about the SPY? And dumps to 52 weeks low. Scavenger's prediction. My Discord, Bell Swans, I don't tell people how to get in the Discord. We're not here to talk about Discords. Blazin, what's up? Karen and Terry are dueling out the keyboards. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Free from it all. Kevin came here to piss some people off. You know I love you, Kevin. Not everybody in the comments loves you. That's all right. Not everybody in the comments loves me, Kevin. Why does nobody mention sriracha hot sauce? I had to say goodbye to sriracha after that yoga instructor that I was dating for a while. She was all about sriracha. It's a long story. Can't do it anymore. Bell says, is Kevin a bear? I just don't think he believes in AMC. That's all right. Not everybody believes in AMC. Teddy Zane doesn't believe in AMC. I have no problem with anybody that likes a stock or does not like a stock, guys. We're not here to moderate people based on their opinions. I'll moderate people that are being rude or people that are causing drama. That's it. Like causing drama against other YouTubers. You can have whatever opinion you want on any stock. I'm fine with that. If you're here to cause problems or talk shit about other people, then you're going to be blocked. Mike says, Teddy just bought back into AMC. I saw a thumbnail that Teddy said he was bullish on AMC again. Look, guys, it's at a 52-year low. The next couple of weeks is really going to tell us what happens with AMC, with Avatar 2. I'm bullish. I bought a couple calls just in case. I bought some AMC on Friday. Do they have problems with debt? Sure. Yeah. We'll see how the next couple quarters go. We don't shy away from the good or the bad. We just trade. Candace says they make that here in California. What, sriracha? What is my favorite cigar, Jeff? I tend to buy Cohibas, Ashton, Punch. What else? I haven't really explored the cigar world enough yet. I have a few brands or a few cigars that I buy. I wouldn't say I'm the expert on cigars. Kevin made $2 million on AMC. Broke Ape says, remember the storyline of the town sriracha is produced at, all the people lost their hair. I did not hear that. Hog Farmer says he's a big fan of Teddy. I wish Teddy would, Teddy gets, I like Teddy. He's got good trading instincts, but I think sometimes he gets caught up in some of the clickbait and not enough DD. So Teddy, if you're watching and you want to reach out, I will help you do the DD. But I don't know if he cares about that. That's when I pissed Kevin off, when I was trying to give some due diligence thoughts, and Kevin got mad at me. I think we're past that now, though. I don't care about, I'm not here for drama with anybody. I just share my thoughts on stocks and due diligence. And yeah, sometimes it makes people mad. It's all right. I'm used to it by now. Same reason I let Kevin share his thoughts here. He has his thoughts. He's welcome to his thoughts. And if I'm not mistaken, Kevin, you can correct us if I'm wrong. You do a lot of shorting of stocks also, right? Which I am not an expert in at all. I don't know how successful you've been in it. But if this bear market continues in the next year, I'm going to start expanding my repertoire. One of these days, Mike, we're going to get Teddy on a live stream. I've talked to Teddy about why do people want to believe clickbait so bad? And he's like, right? Why? Let's just trade the fuck out of it while it's moving. Get in and get out. That's what I love about Teddy. Same strategy. Get in, get out. He's got some pretty good instincts. Kevin, they want to know what your next play is. What do you like right now, Kevin? Long or short? Here's your chance. Terry says, how many Streamlabs strikes to get banned? Did Streamlabs spank you? Oh, I see it. What happened, Terry? What are you doing? You said I put sriracha on my sriracha. Why did the bot ban you for that, Terry? I don't know. I need to have a talk with the bot. What do I think about FINRA and metamaterials? Edward, you're going to have to give me a little more context. Is that two separate questions? Puts on Coinbase, Kevin says. CEI probably going to pump from retail tomorrow. Yeah, CEI is getting a lot of retail interest. Look, guys, there's a, what is there, a reverse split coming up on CEI? Let me pull up the news. People are thinking because of, if it wasn't, if I'm not mistaken, there was a ticker that people were saying it's going to be the next Cosmos, guys. Get ready. Reverse split coming. It's going to be bullish. Was it CEI? Yeah. CEI's got a 50 for 1 reverse split. 1 for 50. Reverse split coming. I predict a train wreck. But retail, oh gosh, retail can do some crazy things. I think I said in the Discord that I might buy some CEI at 6 cents just in case retail's stupid enough to bid it up on FOMO over a reverse split. But that is the stupidest reason to buy CEI. This company's a train wreck. You guys got to realize, I'm going to keep on saying this. There are shorts, and Kevin might even know about this. There are shorts that are just chomping at the bit for reverse splits and dilution notices to short the fuck out of your stocks. So when you see people telling you that it's going to reverse split and run up, or that dilution is good, and I see those channels, guys, they're doing a shelf offering. This is bullish, guys. No. It might be bullish for a day. You can play it on that day. But rarely are they bullish. Unless you're talking something like a Tesla, something that has, massive retail interest and, real long-term possibilities. But CEI is just a train wreck of a company. Gus is talking about the problem with Teddy. Yeah. Teddy's a good entertainer. People tune in and people tune in to Teddy because he's fun to watch. Far more entertaining than me. Whether he's right all the time or not, I don't know. I don't watch him enough to know. But I think he's pretty good about telling you guys when he gets in and out of a play. Kevin, it's not easy being the voice of reason. There, if I'm the number one hated YouTuber in the financial sector, maybe you're the number 2. People only want to hear good news, but guys, there's good news for a day, but you got to learn how to decouple from the ridiculous price targets you're being given on all these penny stocks. Play the momentum, get the fuck out. You can make money that way. Don't hate on the guys that are trying to tell you reality. We're not that popular. I get it. I get it. I get it. Kevin says, I'm surprised you don't know how to short or buy puts. I know how to buy puts, Kevin. But I am, believe it or not, even though I can read charts and do DD, I don't like betting on the downside. I am an optimist, and I like to bet on companies that are going to win. So I tend to buy blue chip companies or other stocks that I think that are beaten down, that are going to perform over the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. I'll buy puts on an index if I think that the entire market's going to crash. But I have never in my life shorted a stock. But that might change in January. We've had a lot of success in recognizing when things top out and calling it. And that's just money sitting on the table. Just leaving money on the table. You can make money on the way up by following retail, and you can, if you have experience, you can recognize when they're topping out, and you can make it on the way down. And guys, there's nothing wrong with that. And we're going to start doing that next year. Even if it's not a bear market, we'll do it on the pump and dump plays. Big B says Lou hates Tony. I didn't even know he knew who I was, but he did make a comment back in March that I was vaporized because Gary Gensler was going to save AMC, and I was like, bro. I think he vaporized himself. Hog Farmer says shorting hurts the company. Look, if I'm long on a company like AMC, I'm not going to short it. But if I could pick a CEI or a GTII, a company which is being run up just on FOMO or bad due diligence, like, look, when people thought Cosmos or MMTLP were going to run because of 2,000% short interest or 300 million synthetic shares, we called the top on those. It was stupid not to short them on the way down. It's not being negative on the company. That's just recognizing that people have listened to clickbaiters and overbid something beyond its value. Blazin says shorting is not bad for the company. Yeah, I mean, guys, remember, if a stock runs from 60 cents to $8, if you short it at $8, you're not hurting the company. Company doesn't generate revenue off of the stock price, even AMC or GameStop. If they need money down the road, if they need to raise money from selling bonds or doing dilution, would they prefer to have a high stock price? Yes, of course. But if something runs from 60 cents to $8 and you short it at $8, are you hurting the company? Not at all. Companies don't make money off of their stock price. They make money off of generating revenue from the products or the service they sell. The reason they're being shorted is because they're either overvalued or their PE ratio is too high, or they're not generating revenue. They're not generating profits. That's called recognizing when something is overvalued. Now, shorting something below its market value, or shorting something like APE because you don't want AMC to have the ability to raise funds, yeah, of course, that's predatory. There's no reason for APE to be lower than AMC. Except that people are taking advantage of the fact that it's going to be diluted, and that retail has been trained to think that APE is bad. Hog Farmer says Cosmos was going to be delisted because of being shorted to oblivion. Cosmos has some revenue issues. That's why they're being shorted. Same with Like Created, CRTD. Nothing against these companies, guys, but read the financials. Can the companies change it? Yeah, by fixing the top line revenue issues and the profit issues. The price of the stock in the meantime is meaningless unless they need to raise cash to survive. We all know there's what's the word? Crime. What's the other word? Collusion. There's a third word that's escaping me at the moment. We all know there's a lot of shenanigans going on in the market. Do companies get unfairly shorted? Of course they do. And that's when you can, if you can buy them cheap enough when they're being unfairly shorted, you can come out ahead in the long run. But you also need to get good at reading the financial statements, understand why some of these companies are being shorted, and then you can kind of sift through what is clickbait, what is reality. And if you want to play it on momentum, play it on momentum. 99% of people are not reading financial statements. Every week, there's something being run up for no good reason, other than Zach Morris called it out. Is there going to be a short squeeze on CEI after the split? Look, guys, a split, reverse split, either one does not change the short interest. It's all math. Nothing changes. Jeff is saying, what's going on with AMC? Is it ever going to squeeze, or is it just a hold? AMC needs a company-specific catalyst, Jeff. When and if that AMC company-specific catalyst comes with a short interest being over 20%, you could get a squeeze. There's lots of people shorting it at this price. If Avatar is blockbuster over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks and the stock price starts moving up because people like, oh, we probably shouldn't short this. Let's get out. Plus, people start buying it because they say, oh, well, we're going to be bullish on the movie industry because of Avatar. You could see things turn around in a heartbeat. Absolutely. But you need to pay attention to what's going on. Edward says, why is Adam Aaron being so quiet? Yeah, I agree. Why is he being so quiet about ape? Could not agree more, Edward. Why, Adam? Kevin says, why doesn't anyone talk about Highcroft? I mean, I've made a few videos on it, Kevin, reading the company's statements and financials and their plan for the next 2 years. And I've been called a bear and a shill and a shorter. And I own Highcroft and I own 25 calls. Highcroft is a very speculative, iffy play for the next year and a half. And then we'll see. I say buy it as cheap as you can. People telling you to buy it at $3, $2, $1, even 50 cents. Why is Mudrick selling right now? You should be thinking about that. Why is Mudrick selling a couple 100,000 shares every other day? That worries me. If they think it's going to moon, why are they selling at 50 cents? So long term, if Highcroft can fix their shit, I'll wager a few bucks on it, but I'm not going to load the boat. It's one of many speculative plays that I have. I'm long on Highcroft. I'll add more if it falls. And if I lose what I have, it's, it's a couple dinners out. Not a big deal. Have I ever watched the 2012 documentary Wall Street Conspiracy? That does not ring a bell, Patriot, but if you can send it to me, I'll take a look. I'm just going to ask you guys buying a Highcroft at 50 cents right now. Like if you want to buy it 2 for $1, wouldn't it be better to buy it 4 for $1 if it drops to 35 or 25 cents? If Mudrick keeps selling and driving down the price, oh man, I'd love to buy me some Highcroft for 25 cents a share. Right now, the chart on Highcroft is not that great. I mean, I'm a chart reader. For me, this is headed to 28 cents. I'm not going to make videos telling you guys to buy it at 50 cents. I hope it turns around. I own some at 68. But my next buy-in is going to be based on the chart. Right now, the chart's red, 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 red. I don't know where it's going to stop. Joseph says, does Cosmos moonshot again this week? I hope it does, Joseph. If it does, I'll be back in. Keep in mind that half the people couldn't trade it on Friday, and they probably will be able to sell it on Monday. So hard to say. Check it in pre-market, and then we'll see where we're at. If it's moving, I'll buy it. Casey says, why do you get to make a decision if a company is bad? If you're asking me, Casey, I'm just one man's opinion, Casey. There's a 1,000 other ones out there. Is it a conflict of interest if I don't own it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You should listen to people that don't own it. The conflict of interest is coming from people that own a stock because they have a bias. What I try and do is give you guys, I analyze every stock I own, even if I own it. I look at the pros and the cons every single day. But what I do, Casey, is look at the financial statements, what the company's messaging is, and make some determinations from then if it's good or bad. I don't look at things like FTDs or daily short volume or short interest. Those are, I look at them, but I don't make investment decisions off of that. I might make day trade choices off of that. If retail believes all that nonsense, I'll play along and then I'll get out. You know how many people, Casey, are bag holding plays that people said were going to run to the moon? Thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people bag holding shit from listening to the wrong people that don't look at the financials, or they believe that Cosmos had 2,000% short interest because some guy on YouTube told them it's a monster play. These fucking people don't know how to do due diligence. But I invite all of them to establish some communication line with me. I help them figure it out. They're all youngsters. I don't blame them. They just don't know what they don't know. All right, guys, 12 o'clock coming up on, well, we've crossed the 3-hour barrier. And I would like to be up in a reasonable amount of time. Kevin, thank you, friend. Kevin says you're comment about conflict of interest of people who own versus who don't own. 1,000%. 1,000% spot on. I know. I know, Kevin, that I'm not the favorite of the pump and dumpers. They hate me. They hate me, but I will tell every single one of them, I'll play all of your plays while they're moving up. And everybody in my Discord can testify that we love momentum plays, but we don't sign on to these ridiculous price targets. Get in early, get out. I don't always know where they're going to top out. That's nobody knows. Nobody can tell how high retail is going to move something. But a 60-cent stock is not going to $100. That I can tell you. Z Akbar says, does the hat stay on during trading hours? This is the nighttime hat, Mr. Akbar. Smokes, drakes, and hats. Funny glasses. Whatever we do in the evenings, this is just for fun, guys. We're just hanging out. Daytime is a lot more boring. If you thought this was boring, come in during the daytime when I'm trying to make money. I'm a lot more serious. It's a lot less entertaining. I can guarantee you that. But it's because I'm actually trying to work and make money. Pam the Trader, where the fuck have you been, Pam? You like disappeared off the map, girl. Hopefully you're having some luck with the real estate biz. Basilorian, I see you in the chat. I did call you 3 times, yes. And I got one text from you. I just was able to see it about 30 minutes ago from noon o'clock. Pam, go get some sleep. I'm about to crash myself. My eyes are burning. Oh, man. All right, Mass. Sorry I missed you tonight, buddy. I tried to call you. I have a message from you at 12:51, which I didn't see till about an hour ago. Whew, but my phone was messing up, so I don't blame you. That was my phone's fault. All right, amigos, I'm going to try and get up early and check on Cosmos and whatever else is in pre-market. I've got a meeting at 7:15. If the market is not shit tomorrow, I'll be on live at 8:30. Thank you one and all for hanging out tonight, having some fun, having some smokes, hopefully. I know some of y'all were having a shot with me. I'm beat. We will see you tomorrow. If I'm not on live, I'll be at the Discord. Always working for you guys. Always paying attention to what's going in the market. What's going on in the market. Thank you to all the admins that came in and helped out tonight. Maslorian, Scavenger, Kevin, who else came in from other channels? Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate all of you with the badge next to your name for supporting the channel, helping to keep the light bills on here. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on there. If I'm not live on YouTube, I'm usually trying to post stuff with thoughts on Twitter or the community tab to at least let you know I'm still alive and I'm watching shit. Thank you, Pam. I'll tell Scarlett I said hello. If anyone's wondering, Scarlett was not happy about the thumbnail tonight, but she said she would do a photo shoot for a similar thumbnail in the future. So we're going to work on that next month. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I heard today's the first day of Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa and happy Festivus for the rest of us. Love you guys. Thank you for your support. Let's go make some money next week. Pray that the markets turn out in our favor. And always remember, wait for a good entry. Get in early, get out, have a risk diversified portfolio, and fuck the clickbaiters, and mostly fuck the hedgies. Love you guys. Have a good night.